Good evening. With the Ghana Learning Channel's News in Capsule for Thursday, September 9, 2021, I am Kingsley Bryan. Here's a look at some of the top stories we will be covering this evening. We'll tell you that the government of Guyana welcomes the latest oil find. Minister Barrett says benefits to be derived for all Guyanese. Then you'll hear that the Liza Unity FPSO sets sail from Singapore. That vessel is expected to arrive in Guyana in November. Then Guyana rejects latest statement from Venezuela. Constitutes an overt threat to Guyana's sovereignty. Then you'll hear that NARI distributes seedlings to Region 5 farmers to likely result in a reduction in current prices. And in news from the region, we'll tell you that 37 Caribbean students are set to benefit from Sandals scholarships. Caribbean's best and brightest form the newest editions. And on the international scene, tropical storm warning as Mindy forms in the Gulf of Mexico. 13th named storm of the season is expected to persist. And now for the news in detail. The government of Guyana has announced its pleasure with the latest oil discovery made by ExxonMobil Guyana. The government, through the Ministry of Natural Resources, made the announcement. Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Vikram Barrett, in welcoming the news, relayed the following. Open quote, the Ministry of Natural Resources, on behalf of the government of Guyana, is pleased to announce Guyana's newest oil discovery by Exxon Exploration and Production Guyana, EEPGL, and partners at Pinktail offshore Guyana within the Stabroek Block. The Pinktail well encountered high-quality hydrocarbon-bearing sandstone reservoirs at 67 meters within the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana. This discovery is in addition to the EEPGL's successful appraisal of the Turbot 1 and Turbot 2 discoveries at 13 meters and 23 meters respectively, which also encountered high-quality hydrocarbon. The government of Guyana is confident that these additional discoveries will serve to further catapult Guyana's monumental transition as a country with world-class discoveries of high-quality hydrocarbon. As such, the government of Guyana remains committed and persistent in engaging all stakeholders towards the beneficial development of these resources for all Guyanese in a sustainable and responsible manner. Hence, the government of Guyana has mandated the Ministry of Natural Resources and the petroleum sector regulatory agencies to enhance the oversight and management of the exploration programs of all operators as we seek to further expand the sector through advancing commercial discoveries. In this vein, the minister says he would like to assure all Guyanese and stakeholders that this will be undertaken in keeping with international best practices for compliance and transparency within the petroleum sector, and to ensure benefits are derived for all Guyanese. Then, the Liza Unity Floating Production Storage and Offloading Vessel, FPSO, or Guyana's second oil ship, has begun its voyage to Guyana, having departed the Keppel shipyard in Singapore. FPSO manufacturer SBM Offshore announced the news Thursday morning. Government in a statement welcomed the announcement of the FPSO's voyage to Guyana, which it said will complement the Liza Destiny FPSO, currently producing approximately 120,000 barrels of oil per day, and which will see the production of approximately 330,000 barrels of oil per day. The FPSO is expected to arrive in Guyana by November. Once it arrives at the Liza field in the Stabroek Block, it will be hooked up to the seabed, after which will be the installation of the umbilicals and risers, allowing the next phase of operations to begin. The Liza Unity FPSO has also been awarded the Sustain 1 notation by ABS, the Classification Society. This means that the design and construction of the unit is assessed against and adheres to the requirements of the ABS Guide for Sustainability Notations, aligned with the applicable United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The Liza Unity is the world's first FPSO to achieve such recognition for sustainability for its design, documentation, and operational procedures. Examples of features recognized by the Sustain 1 class notation include energy efficiency management, mitigation of ozone-depleting substances, and management of hazardous materials throughout the life cycle. The FPSO represents FBM's offshore-first, fast-forward design, benefiting from standardization of the project's execution plan and using a fully completed and commissioned multi-purpose floater, hull which sets the benchmark for future FPSO projects. The project continues to target forest oil in 2022, in line with client schedule. We'll tell you now that the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana has firmly rejected the agreement signed by the heads of delegation of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the Unity Platform of Venezuela in Mexico City on September 6, 2021. That agreement is an overt threat to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Guyana. Guyana cannot be used as an altar of sacrifice for settlement of Venezuela's internal political differences. While the government of Guyana welcomes domestic accord within Venezuela, an agreement defying international law and process is not a basis for mediating harmony. The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela is properly before the International Court of Justice, and it will remain there. That statement was given by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Guyana, following that announcement by the government of Venezuela, joint with their opposition, to claim once again the territory that is rightfully Guyana's. Meanwhile, consumers can expect an abundance of fresh fruits and vegetables on the local market by September's month end, thanks to the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, NARI, that recently distributed seedlings to farmers in Region 5. This will likely result in the reduction of high prices currently being charged for these fresh commodities, says Mr. Jagnarine Singh, NARI's Chief Executive Officer. The floods of 2021 inundated hundreds of farms in all administrative regions. Hundreds of thousands of acres of farmlands were affected. Fortunately, some farms being used for other crop productions were not affected, and for others, the flood waters drained off quickly, and farmers were able to plant crops. The limited supply of fruits and vegetables on the market resulted in the high prices. Extension officers of NARI had conducted assessments of affected farms across the country. Floodwaters have receded, and with direction from the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa, NARI has commenced distributing about $20 million in planting materials and about $5 million in small implements to affected farmers. Farmers operating in other regions will also receive seedlings, seeds, and fertilizers in addition to the financial flood relief assistance. And turn our attention now to the world of sports. The Guyana Amazon Warriors moved back into the top 4 of the 2021 Hero Caribbean Premier League table with a 17-run victory over the St. Lucia Kings. The Amazon Warriors won the toss and elected to bat, but they had to overcome an early wobble to post a competitive total led by Brandon King's enterprising 77. In reply, the Kings looked as if they were in cruise control when Roston Chase and Tim David put together a big partnership. But excellent death bowling tightened the screws and the Kings succumbed to the pressure. Having been supplanted in the top 4 by Jamaica Tallawahs earlier in the day, Guyana needed a win to reignite their competition. However, 3 early wickets in the power play put them on the back foot, as Wahab Riaz and Jivor Royal made the early breakthroughs. King came to the Amazon Warriors' rescue with his first Hero CPL 50 of the season. But other than Nicholas Pooran's 25, no batsman was able to stick with King. Once King fell for his sparkling 77, O'Dean Smith was able to add some maximums to take Guyana to a challenging total of 151. St. Lucia Kings were circumspect in their early reply and found themselves 3 wickets down with 43 runs on the board. Gudakesh Moti's parsimonious spin bowling saw him take 2 for 12 from his 4 overs to keep the Amazon Warriors well in the hunt. Roston Chase and Tim David put together a boundary, leading partnership of 75 from 63 balls. But just as it seemed they would take the Kings home, Naveen Ul-Ak and Nadine Smith bowled 4 excellent overs to seal 2 crucial points for the Warriors. And that story was extracted from the CPL news site. And in news from the region, 37 of the Caribbean's brightest minds will be part of the Sandals Foundation Care for Kids scholarship program this upcoming school year at a value of approximately $54,000. The 5-year program, which started in 2009, is an integral part of the philanthropic organization's investment in the academic progress of children, with some 201 students benefiting from the program to date. Now, as islands across the region gear up for a multimodal approach to the 2021-2022 academic year, 23 secondary school students and 14 tertiary level students will have the opportunity to continue their academic journeys free of charge. The program will support the academic journey of students into tertiary studies. The program covers the cost of tuition, books, uniforms, annual medical, and tutoring. In an effort to ensure the holistic development of the students' personal growth, the program also offers mentorship and requires recipients to be involved in community outreach, projects, and sports. The Care for Kids scholarship program is made possible through the generous donations of Sandals and Beaches Resorts guests, as well as donors across the world who believe in the power of education and wish to support its development in the region. In addition to the annual scholarship program, the Sandals Foundation works to support the sustainable development of the region's education sector through teacher training, literacy, special needs, and technological support, as well as infrastructural development. And that story was extracted and modified from Loop Caribbean News. And now on the international scene. The 13th named storm of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season has formed in the northeast Gulf of Mexico, and it's named Tropical Storm Mindy. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Mexico Beach to Steinhatchee River in Florida. Tropical storm conditions are expected to reach the coast within the warning area later this evening and tonight. In its 4 p.m. update, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said the center of Tropical Storm Mindy was located over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, about 90 miles west-southwest of Apalachicola, Florida. Mindy is moving toward the northeast near 21 miles per hour. A northeast to east-northeast motion is expected to continue over the next several days. On the forecast track, the center of Mindy is expected to cross the coastline of the Florida Panhandle later tonight, and then move offshore of southeastern United States into western Atlantic by tomorrow. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour, with higher gusts. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 35 miles from the center. Little change in strength is expected before Mindy makes landfall in the Florida Panhandle later this evening. And that story was extracted and modified from CNN. And that's our news broadcast for Thursday, September 9, 2021. Please join us for a rebroadcast tomorrow morning. On behalf of myself and technical team, thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for our regular programming. And remember to observe all the necessary precautionary methods to fight off COVID-19. We're all in this together. Good evening.